Oh boy, everything that's been happening lately has been a little slow, I guess. But seeing how this chapter started, it seems though we're going to get a lot of information and things that's going to go down in the future. For one, we're going to Kiddos' home. Well, that's where we started out, in Kiddos' house, or should I say Rebecca's original home. Sabo mentions that he has to leave because CP0 is coming back to Dressrosa. That means that the Straw Hats are going to have to leave as well, because, you know, since they're pirates and all. Zoro also mentions that he didn't know that Luffy had another brother, you know, besides Ace. Frankie mentions that it was shocking that they even know that Luffy had another brother, and Sabo mentions that he said he bet it was, seeing that Luffy was probably the most shocked of them all, since, you know, Luffy thought Sabo was dead ever since they were young. Sabo talks about how him, Luffy, and Ace were, you know, the wildest of kids, and how, you know, stuff that happened in the past, how you know, they declared to be pirates, and how they exchanged the cups to be brothers, I mean. Then he also mentions, you know, the incident that happened that in a flashback. But we already know what happened. Stuff that happened in the city. Dragon appeared, and, you know, Sabo was saying something about, you know, how he feels like he's being caged in by the city, and, you know, he went out on that little ship and he got blown up. Well, he would have died, actually, unless Dragon had saved him. Now we got to see something new. After the incident, Sabo actually woke up to having amnesia because he had no memory. I guess that knocked his head a little too hard. One thing Sabo actually remembers is the Goa Kingdom, which I think where he came from. He was a noble there, but, you know, he says he doesn't want to go back there anywhere but there. And being a One Piece fan, you should know why he doesn't want to go back. But if you aren't, yeah, he doesn't like his parents. He doesn't like being a royal. He doesn't, you know, it's not free, as I guess he stated. Then we go back to present time, and Zoro mentions that Sabo did so. Sabo's lost all his memory, but Sabo says that he's got a strong feeling, you know, he doesn't want to go back to his parents anymore. But then, other than that, he has no memories. Frankie says that it must have taken a long time for Sabo to remember that type of stuff, but then Sabo mentions that it was actually Ace who reminded him of his past and everything else like that. Well, that's what Sabo says he believes. What actually triggered Sabo's memories to come back was actually a long time after he had lost them. He got his most of his memory back after Ace died. After seeing the death of Whitebeard and Ace in newspapers, his memory started coming back about Ace saying that he wanted to be a pirate. And then lastly, he remembers about what happened in the sake cups, how they exchanged it to become brothers, and Sabo yells out, how could he have forgotten? And that's when he breaks down. After waking after, 3 days, he wakes up to Koala and Hack next to him, who were, worried about him. They thought he had died. I mean, he didn't wake up after 3 days. Koala asks, did he get his memory back and is he leaving? He says of course not, but he wants to go discuss something with Dragon. After 2 years in Dressrosa, which is actually current time, Sabo says that he has a favor to ask of the Revolutionary Army, and there's a devil fruit that he must get. And we all know what that devil fruit is. He currently has it. It's the Meta Meta no Mi. So I'm guessing the only reason he even went to Dressrosa was, to get the Meta Meta no Mi. Then we go back to when Luffy had re-met Ace back in the Coliseum. Then we just have Luffy here who's, Sabo says, hey little bro, and Luffy's like, hey, you can't call me that. Turns around and sees Sabo and he starts freaking out. He starts bear hugging him and all. Ace says that he's glad that Luffy's still alive, but Luffy says, but Sabo, I watched Ace die right in front of me. Sabo says, yeah, Ace is gone, but it's still okay that you're alive, and that's what matters. Sabo says, thanks for surviving and all of that. Then Sabo asks Luffy, can he have the Meta Meta no Mi? Then Luffy, without hesitation, just said, yeah, take it, whatever. Sabo was ready to leave now. Oh yeah, and then he mentioned to everyone that he had, just in case, he had actually made a Viver card for Luffy. He had took a piece of the Viver card for himself, just in case. He said he knew Luffy would be a handful. So, you know, he went off saying, please take good care of him. Zoro mentions that Ace said something like that when he left back in Alabasta, I'm guessing. So, Sabo's leaving, on a flock of crows at that.